What is going on, everyone? This is episode 10 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. Carl, what's going on today, man?
We've got some results from a VictoryRoad tournament that happened over the weekend, this past weekend, May 2nd and 3rd, which we got top 24, where it was like top cut, something like that. And
let me see if it says how many players and all that jazz here. I'm assuming it does.
263.
That's quite a few.
That is a lot. We also got a Team of the Week from Discord user Jiggly Dreams. Looks like it's featuring Durant and has the spicy tech of this safety goggles Drampa and a Clefairy.
Yeah, let's just jump right in here, shall we?
Yeah, this is interesting.
So we have safety goggles Drampa, which safety goggles not only shuts off like powder-based moves, but also weather, which weather doesn't really matter because we have Cloud9, so it's basically shutting off like Icy Wind, I believe, gets shut off.
Icy Wind and
the big one being Sleep Powder and Spore, if that's ever a thing.
Shinotic.
You're right. You got me. You got me, man. But then this one's a really weird one. We're max special attack Drampa. This thing's gonna sweep somebody.
That's the goal, right? Its goal is to like get up like maybe like a Trick Room. Is there a Trick Room user? No. Maybe
How
maybe
fast
it's
is Drampa then?
not very.
So is it just our Trick Room counter?
Maybe it's just a Trick Room counter because it has Hydro Pump for an Energy Ball for Rhyperior and other ground-based Trick Room abusers, and then Dragon Pulse for stab.
And just gonna do a lot of damage to Dragon Pulse.
Yeah, probably.
I'm surprised we don't see something like Hyper Voice just as another stab.
Like spread stab would be fantastic, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what makes Sylveon so great. It's just spread stab that also gets boosted and.
I'm trying to remember what the other abilities are. It's Berserk. Pokemon special attack is raised by one stage when it reaches half or less of its max HP, and then Sap Sipper, which is one of my favorite abilities for Goodra.
I didn't know it got Sap Sipper. That's sweet.
Problem
is its attack is just garbage.
Usually the ones
attack,
that,
right?
Yeah, usually the Pokemon that have Sap Sipper don't have actually decent attack.
So that's its attack boost.
It's an attack boost, but the grass immunity is the important part of it, and when I'm looking at the Cloud9, is like you could be Cloud9, and
the big thing is there's a lot of Tyranitars running around. So being able to not only take away this damage from sand, but also being able to prevent the defense boost from sand is real important. Because I'm sure this thing just eats Tyranitars all day.
With Energy Ball and Hydro Pump, heck yes it does. Are we modest? We're quiet? Oh gosh.
What is... I actually don't know what
Quiet is plus special attack minus speed. That is the signature ability of Hatterene. So, how does that look for you?
205.
We are blowing people up. Now imagine if we had Berserk on top of this thing.
The problem is like, I'm sure because our defenses are not the best, I'm not sure how likely we are to actually live attacks.
Being normal dragon is actually kind of interesting because it's like you can swap in on like Dusclops and whatnot and not have to worry about like if they're running Shadow Sneak or some weird thing like that. Mimikyu is a big one, Dragapult's another big one. It just swaps in and just like, oh look, you went for Max Phantasm, I'm going to just sit here and take that. Sure.
Can you imagine like triggering a policy on this thing?
I've seen people do it. I have seen people do it.
410 special attack. That is absurd amount.
Yeah. Like, you thought Goodra was a special attacker? This thing is a special attacker. The problem is Goodra has the bulk to back up weakness policy. This thing...
Unfortunately, just its bulk is so minimal.
It's iffy, yeah. Also, there's the answer to your speed. Your base 36.
Good Lord, that is slow.
So, what I'm seeing here is, I think we want a Trick Roomer, right?
I could honestly see Rotom becoming Jellicent.
Right?
And I think that would actually be good.
Or swapping this Clefairy for some like actual like Psychic Fairy, like a Hatterene.
We could, I was gonna say we could cut Clefairy and Rotom and play the, or not Rotom. We could cut Clefairy and Togekiss and play Hatterene and Indeedee. And
that
then like,
sound terrible at all.
Yeah, and like Durant is still good outside of like obviously it's real powerful outside of Trick Room, just being able to pick up KOs however it wants.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a white herb?
That is a white herb. That's what I was wondering.
What does white herb do?
White herb means we don't have to worry about Intimidate that first time.
Ah.
We get to OHKO that Arcanine. We get to OHKO that Incineroar, hopefully.
Interesting. Is there any difference between Scopelands and Razor Claw? Is there any?
They are the same, pretty much the same.
I wanted to make sure I was. Well, I'm sure we're going to talk about Draft League here after a hot minute, but I was running Razor Claw and Leafeon this week. I was like, I really hope there's no.
There's no actual difference. They're the same. They do the same thing.
Okay, just for my sake, I had to ask.
I noticed this Durant can't hit Charizard very well.
No, it cannot. Which is one reason I always ran, instead of Protect, I always ran Rock Slide.
Is anything using Life Orb on this team? No.
No. But, I mean, I understand the idea behind the White Herb, but I think Life Orb is just more important for being able to put out more damage.
I was about to say, I actually don't know if we can OHKO Bulky Arcanine.
Even after White Herb?
With that, yeah. Because Life Orb is a lot of extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I have my Arcanine that I have been playing with for a while. Let's see what happens when we run this Durant specifically into it.
So if we Dynamax...
Oh, goodness.
This is a surprise if no one just cannot learn a burn up.
Just for reference, burn up does 388 to 459% of Durant's maximum HP.
So even Dynamax, you're killed twice.
So with the White Herb,
yeah, Max Quake does 100%.
Max Quake will do 107 to 127. Now, granted, that's off my Arcanine. My Arcanine is very defensive bulk, but no HP. A lot of them are running more HP than what I'm running and less speed because we usually pair them with Whimsicott Tailwind.
Mm-hmm.
But it's whatever. The other thing you got to make sure you're faster than it because we don't have a good way to set up Tailwind, and Arcanine is usually paired with Whimsicott.
Which
and
is going
the
to
minute that Tailwind is up, Arcanine gets to
yeah, you are outsped, and therefore you are getting OHKO'd by Heat Wave, Burn Up.
You are dead.
Flare Blitz. You know, pick a fire attack. You are dead.
Yeah.
You are not living any fire attack from anything.
Like Heat Wave does
140.
140.
Oh, that's on singles.
Yeah, it's not going to change much.
It's still OHKO.
It's not going to change much.
We're still Dynamax, right? Okay.
Yeah, he's still Dynamaxed. Oh, if we change the doubles, you do not OHKO my Arcanine.
With Max Quake?
With Max Quake, we do 80 to 95.9.
Why is that?
Because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand why doubles damage would be different on Dynamaxing. That's weird.
Is Stomping Tantrum spread?
It shouldn't be.
That was the only reason I think it would.
No, it not.
Shouldn't. Huh. That's interesting.
That's real weird.
So yeah,
I've never noticed that.
This Durant's weird.
So what if we put Life Orb on it instead of this?
Oh, 100% KOs if Life Orb's on it.
Well, then we're also going to be -1 attack, though.
Boop. And then -1. Nope.
No,
actually, it's less damage.
That actually is less damage. Huh.
But not all people play my build of Arcanine. So like
what if instead of Protect, if we ran Rock Slide, would that do more damage?
Let's find out.
Rock Slide is higher damage, right? But it's spread.
Nope, same amount because it's not stab. But Rock Slide means you get to hit Charizard.
True.
Which that's the problem right now is we're not hitting Charizard.
Yeah, because like Steel Spike does nothing. Iron Head also does nothing. What if we change from Adamant to
Jolly to Adamant?
Yeah.
That should be enough to put us over the top. Yeah.
Oh, it's close.
It's the range, but it's closer than it was. It's a coin flip. It's a little worse than a coin flip, so.
Man, that's not quite the best.
So, yeah, Durant's a little bit weird here, but if it's working, it's working. It's obviously there's like with Follow Me, whatnot. My Burn Up Arcanine's not going to be able to hit the Durant with Follow Me sitting there. But I also have.
I was gonna say, I'm like, we don't even have Follow Me on Togekiss, but we have it on Clefairy.
Yeah, we have it on Clefairy.
Which actually means, if you put up Friend Guard, we're still like hella dead to everything, right?
Not to Heat Wave, but like I said, I run Burn Up.
We're on Burn Up for a reason.
Yep, Burn Up has multiple purposes, but we'll get to Arcanine because it's in my it's on a team I want to talk about here in a little bit.
So quickly just run through the rest of this team real quick. We have the Togekiss, pretty stock build.
Yeah.
Burn Up still does 200%.
A ton. This is a full offensive Togekiss. Like we are attacking.
Yeah, Air Slash,
this is Dynamax.
Wave, and Dazzling Gleam as well as Protect. Max special attack, 164 HP. 92 into speed. Like, 92 speeds actually means we're gonna outspeed most other Togekiss. I'm actually not sure if we're gonna be able to outspeed, like, if we outspeed Timid.
I'm not sure. The big question is make sure you outspeed Excadrill.
Which we're not.
Yeah.
Excadrill is incredibly fast, and with this build, we're not actually going to be able to live a hit either.
Oh no, we do not survive a hit.
Yeah, without Babiri Berry or any bulk, we're not living a hit.
Yeah, for sure. The rest of this team is an Assault Vest Incineroar, Adamant, Flare Blitz, Darkest Lariat, Fake Out Your Turn. Pretty standard Incineroar when it's Assault Vest. Mm-hmm. And then we have Rotom Wash with a Citrus Berry, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, Protect, Nasty Plot. Pretty standard Rotom Wash set. Outside of, they kind of split their HP up. They lowered their HP to put some points in special attack, which is fine. Bulky Fast Wash is a little more popular than just like less bulky and more special attack. But it's a Rotom. Rotoms do what Rotoms do.
Yep, nothing overly different about this one here.
I like the Drampa part. I like this part. I like the Fairy. The Durant's iffy. Full attack Togekiss is cool. Incineroar is cool. I kind of want Life Orb on this Rotom Wash.
I do too.
And I'll tell you why. Rotom Wash, like if we're less bulk, then we're not surviving as many hits. So we need to make sure we KO things.
Okay.
So making sure we don't have to Nasty Plot all the time to KO things is better.
For sure.
I'm not sure what the numbers are exactly off the top of my head, but I know Rotom Wash Thunderbolt into normal Milotic deals about a half to just under a half. So if we can high roll that to where Life Orb gets us over that half, and then we can guarantee kill the next turn.
Guaranteed 2-shot compared to
maybe a
2-shot.
Yeah, maybe a 2. Also, that's like not having like a berry if they have like a citrus berry or
leftovers
or a leftovers berry, leftovers or other like a pinch berry or something like that.
Yeah, most likely with leftovers, you're probably going to be a 3-shot at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if we are Life Orb, there's probably a chance we can 2-shot.
Yeah, we're in the range.
Yeah.
But outside that, I really like what the Drampa is doing. I keep coming back to this, and I really like what it's doing. I like that it's just like a grass Pokemon.
Dude, it's so weird to see Hydro Pump and Energy Ball on this thing.
It's like we want to be Primarina, but we're Drampa.
And I'm sure this thing beats up Primarina too. Like if we have Trick Room up, I'm sure we just
Oh yeah, we're slower than everything, so...
But yeah, I would like to see Drampa and Trick Room. That is something that I have not looked into and something I kind of want to explore.
Okay, listeners, you heard it here first. Let's get Drampa in Trick Room.
Didn't we cover a Drampa Trick Room team last week?
I remember seeing a Drampa Trick Room team, but I don't think we actually I actually don't know what the sets are.
I really want to know.
We might have. You ready to move on to the top cut of the May Challenge?
Let's talk some Pokemon.
So, 263 players. Top cut was 24 players, it looks like. 7 and 2 being the worst you could do to make top cut. There's some pretty big names here. Ashton Cox is on here. I saw him.
Yeah, I lost to him.
Couple other big names that I see a lot. I see this guy all the time on here. But yeah, let's go start at the top and work our way down. You know what's not at the top?
Grandpa?
Clefairy.
Alright, cool.
The last 2 tournaments have had Excadrill, Clefairy, Dragapult, Arcanine, Rotom Wash.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
So instead of Clefairy and Excadrill, we're trading those out for Mimikyu and Tyranitar.
Yeah.
And you and I were counting before we started recording. There are so many Tyranitars.
Oh, yeah.
There is... so 24 players in Top Cut. There is 16 Tyranitars. That's absurd, man.
That's more than Togekisses.
It honestly is... I would have to count again, but I would be surprised if that's not more than like Togekiss and Dragapult combined.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Alright, we were close.
18, 19.
we're real close.
We had to go all the way back to the bottom to find the last couple, 3 or 4, to make it there. So,
I mean, again, this is just we're kind of talking last night. It might have just been me and Tofu. I can't remember when we were talking about it or who was in the conversation. But after Draft League, we were talking about how I just have like good mons and I'm just playing like generic good stuff, and that's really what this team is. It's just like, hey, these are 6 playable mons. We're just gonna do this thing, and hopefully it's gonna work.
yeah.
And I mean, obviously, being 7 and 2 and finishing first in Top Cut is just like, it's about as good as we can do.
Yeah. Notably, Mimikyu here is a counter to Trick Room, which is super duper important because this team doesn't technically want to go super duper slow. It has Tyranitar if it needs to go slow, but
Arcanine can also be fairly slow, right? Like, we can build it to be...
Base speed on Arcanine is fairly high, I think. Base speed on Arcanine is 95.
Good lord, that is fast. That is way higher than I thought.
Yeah.
Alright, never mind then.
Never mind. So, yeah.
Togekiss can be slow.
Togekiss is the one that wants to be slow. Yeah, it can be
80,
slow.
Rotom is 85, 90, somewhere in there.
I think it's like 86. It's some weird number. It's some weird value. It's 88 or 86. It's not an even number. Like a round number. But beyond that, Mimikyu also
91.
91.
It is in fact a weird number.
Yeah. But Mimikyu also can be fast if it needs to be, so usually you just run it like as a Trick Room counter.
Huh, interesting. Rotom forms actually have different stats compared to base Rotom. It also has higher stats. Rotom's base stat is 440 total, whereas in any appliance it's 520. Actually makes its speed 86.
Hey, I was right.
But it makes its defenses just astronomically higher, from 77 to 105.
Yeah. Rotom Wash is a fairly bulky Pokemon with like.
Interesting.
That's why
I actually didn't know that. Like, so all the forms have the same base stats, but Rotom versus appliances have different.
And that's why you don't see just Rotom. You see Rotom Wash, Rotom.
Oh yeah,
Rotom,
I mean it makes sense, but like the big difference there is you're trading your Ghost typing for a second typing that is actually good.
Yeah.
And like actually adds diversity compared to playing another Ghost with Dragapult, Mimikyu, Aegislash, Dusclops, and
That's a team. That's a team though.
Mono Ghost.
I ran into it on ladder, and it was hilarious to try and watch it try to win, but
it's like, do you just not ever anticipate like a Crunch or a Darkest Lariat or
like hope your opponent isn't playing Incineroar, Tyranitar, or any Ghost type in general.
Yep.
Second place team is pretty similar to the first. The second place team is more, I want to call it more sand than just like generic good stuff because we're playing T-Tar Excadrill together.
We also have weakness policy on this Dragapult with Sylveon.
Yep.
If it's not, I would be 1,000% surprised.
The only other weakness policy would be Tyranitar.
Like, Excadrill's running around.
Like,
with
the Sylveon, it'd make the most sense.
Which I have done. It is really sweet. It's so cool.
So one of those two is probably a weakness policy. Excadrill's most likely Life Orb or Focus Sash.
Here I could see it being Orb.
And then...
probably Vest on T-Tar then?
Yeah, if it's weakness policy Dragapult, then it's Vest on T-Tar. If it is weakness policy T-Tar, then it's most likely Focus Sash on Dragapult.
And then if we're going to put Sash on Dragapult, we want Orb on
Excadrill. Cool. And this is where it gets kind of just muddled. It's just like, there's so many builds.
There's a lot of minor things going on. It's just like, all right, what goes where? And
once you figure out one, you can figure out the rest.
Yeah.
But you just gotta... It's hard when all you tell us is just like, here's these 6 Pokemon.
And, the weirdest thing is just like, man, what does all these Togekiss do? It's just like, all right, again, we've talked about this 100 times on the cast. It's just like breaking down the team of, well, this one needs this needs support role, so it's going to be support compared to, well, this is lacking damage, so it needs to be high damage. And like this team obviously has plenty of damage between Tyranitar, Rotom, Excadrill, Dragapult. Like it has a bunch of
Sylveon.
Oh yeah, Sylveon can mess things up, man.
Hyper Voice, Throat Spray, just blow people up.
Tofu had it in Draft League, and he had Hyper Beam on it. And when he clicked it, I'm just like, oh, this brings back so many memories, and I miss doing this to people.
It means you need to play more ladder.
Dude, I need to. Like the last couple of days, I've played more than I have probably in the last month. I've been playing a lot of Crystal here lately, if you want to be 100% honest.
I've been playing too much Pokemon.
Nah, that's not a thing.
Yeah, no, trust me, it's a thing. Moving on to this third place team here, we have a Trick Room team featuring Primarina, Mimikyu, Ferrothorn, Arcanine, Dusclops, and Tyranitar as a weather setter to help counter the Sun teams for our poor Ferrothorn.
Ferrothorn does not like fire, man.
Nope.
It likes it more than Durant does. I'll give it that. Like Durant just does not take hits. Ferrothorn can at least take
a hit in the rain. Like Ferrothorn at least takes a hit in the rain, and then Durant kind of just like rolls over.
Just the idea of fire and he's rolling over.
This is pretty standard when it comes to Trick Room sets. Mimikyu, Dusclops, you just send them both out. One of you hits Trick Room. They don't know which one's going to hit Trick Room. It's just a 50-50 guess for them.
And like on top of that, like
usually you just like throw Mimikyu under the bus and just like, here's this Trick Room on Mimikyu, and Dusclops is gonna do some ally switching nonsense. And
on top of that, like Ferrothorn has picked up a lot in popularity the last probably a month or so as like a Trick Room abuser, compared to in previous generations where it's just like not only does it do the Trick Room thing, but it also can be like support and just like whittle you down with like Rocky Helmet, Iron Barbs. Or, Iron Barb's leftovers, or, just any combination of those. And it's just like, we're going to slow things down. We're going to play at my pace. And it doesn't matter what you do because I can live 1 billion hits. You don't have anything that's strong enough to actually KO me.
Here's this Charizard.
Oh. Change of plans.
Speaking of Charizard, the next team is... Sun.
Next couple teams, actually.
Yeah, there's a couple of iterations on Sun here. Fourth place team is Sun with a trick, like a sub Trick Room theme. This is more like focused on here. I'm going to be Sun, but I can also do Dusclops, Torkoal, Tyranitar nonsense if I need to.
And then the 5th place team is actual hard Sun and Trick Room with Ninetales as our Sun setter compared to Torkoal, which seems really weird in the Trick Room team. But we have Conkeldurr, Dusclops, Rhyperior.
So we get to play Trick Room much better.
But like it seems real weird to not have the hard Trick Room team
Have Torkoal.
Yeah. Whereas like the sub
Trick Room theme
has Torkoal compared to Ninetales, which would probably be better on that team.
Maybe because he's playing so many Trick Room abusers, he needs more speed on the team.
And I mean, Ninetales is real powerful, man. Ninetales does a lot of things really good.
Mm-hmm.
Having access to Will-O-Wisp, like it's a really good like support mod with Will-O-Wisp and Hypnosis, and can put out a lot of damage with Heat Wave, Solar Beam, Flamethrower. You know, like pick a fire move and then like Solar Beam, and it just is fine.
Yeah.
I know it also has like Confuse Ray, which like we don't see a lot of like Confuse.
We've seen more now that we got G-Max Hattering, and we will be seeing more now that we have Machamp into the mix. Because No Guard Machamp usually runs Dynamic Punch, and
so like your best way of dealing with it is put it to sleep, confuse it, try to flinch it.
Yeah.
Which does not seem like the best plan when it's a Dynamax, but you know.
Yeah, it's whatever. But yeah, they're kind of just like switched at birth. Was like, I want this Torkoal here and this Ninetales here, but they swapped them. So it's just kind of weird. 6th place team has it's pretty close to what the standard team looks like anymore. Dragapult, Togekiss, Excadrill, Rotom Wash, Venusaur, and Incineroar. All those things got nice little triangles there. Pretty straightforward, pretty standard. Nothing a whole lot more to talk about there. Kind of wish this Venusaur had a decent Sun pairing. I guess Togekiss gets Heat Wave, and Dragapult gets Fire Fang and Flamethrower. So do with that what you will.
Fire Blast too.
Yeah.
And like we have Incineroar. Like Incineroar is not unknown to go big if need be.
Yeah, it can. 7th place team is G-Max Colossal Nonsense with Dragapult, Colossal, Togekiss, Conkeldurr, Dusclops, and Primarina as a secondary way to proc our weakness policy.
Yeah, this is something you've played a lot here in the last month or so.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. This is a hoot. Primarina Colossal does cool things. Dragapult Colossal does cool things. Conkeldurr plus Trick Room. Dusclops is able to haze away, say, opposing buffs. Helps especially against opposing Colossal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always just a good thing to have. 8th place team is the last payout team, apparently.
Yeah, evidently.
Last place you get money.
Which is kind of weird, having almost 300 players and then only paying out top 8. But yeah, I'm not a TO.
It's not my tournament.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'm not a TO. I don't really care.
We got a couple Pokemon here that you might like. There's a Hitmontop on this team.
Love it when it changes things.
And I'm assuming this is a Trick or Treat Gourgeist. This is probably the extra large, bulky, slow version.
Trick or Treat turns them grass, right?
Ghost.
Oh.
So they can avoid fighting type moves. So Tyranitar loses one of its 4 times weakness.
Ah. Also, like you can do it on theirs, and then like Crunch does massive damage. I was thinking, what's the one that turns them grass? Isn't there one?
I don't know about one that turns them grass. I know Soak is a thing.
I thought.
I'm not sure if there's. You might be able to find one for grass. I'm not sure if it's in Sword and Shield. That's the thing. I don't know if it's in Sword and Shield though. There might have been a move at one point, but I don't know if it's in Sword and Shield. It might be.
I thought Trevenant had something.
Oh, is it Harvest?
No, Harvest is
no, it's the Harvest is the ability. What's the thing that Quentin would know this? Where is he at when we need him? What is the move on Trevenant? What is it?
Force Curse.
That's what it is.
Yeah, there we go. I'm like, I know. I feel like this is a thing. I feel like we've talked about this on Discord in the last month.
Yeah. So.
Just but things... not on Gourgeist, unfortunately.
No, Gourgeist gets the other one.
Yeah, it gets Trick or Treat, which then, let's see. The only real thing that we actually get to abuse their mons with is Tyranitar. Nothing else looks like it gets dark coverage, to my knowledge.
I mean, you could also just Shadow Ball them with your own Gourgeist.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that Ghost is weak to itself for a hot minute. I'm just like, that doesn't work.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know why I do this week in and week out, man. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Play more ladder, you'll get better. Trust me. Ninth place team is got a weird thing going on here. We got Trick Room, but we also got like
no abusers.
Tyranitar and Togekiss are like the closest thing to abusers we have on this team. Dusclops is our setter. We have Arcanine, Rotom Wash, and then Excadrill, which does not want to be under Trick Room.
I'm assuming Dusclops here is Trick Room counter.
Probably Imprison, Trick Room, and then like Ally Switch and Nightshade or Bulldoze to proc a policy.
Bulldoze would be sweet, especially if we are actual like Trick Room. It can not only trigger our policy on Tyranitar, but also lower our speed, which I guess we're also lowering their speed, so we're not actually.
Yeah, it never actually works the way you want it to.
Slower,
It never actually works the way you want it.
No, but you can Bulldoze with Togekiss out, and it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, there you go. You can make Togekiss
and Rotom actually.
You can make your Togekiss faster.
See. We're smart. We're
working it out. Yeah, this team's it's just kind of weird, just like not seeing like usually Togekiss is paired with the Dragapult, and we don't see that here. And usually the Rotom Arcanine is usually paired with the Grass type, and we don't have that here either. So it's just like a little bit of a weird like half triangle system going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this team actually deals with bulky water, outside of just like hope Rotom hits a Thunderbolt.
We have Thunder Punch on Tyranitar.
That'd be like the only hope, right?
We're Choice Band Tyranitar. That's the best I got.
Yeah.
We have Wild Charge Arcanine.
There you go. If Arcanine is actually physical Arcanine, this actually is fine.
I don't think it is. I don't think we need it to be, I should say. I think we have enough actual damage output without it being physical.
Yeah. 10th place team is more Trick Room stuff with Dragapult and Primarina, Tyranitar, Dusclops, Mimikyu, and our Ferrothorn comes back again.
Yeah, it seems fine. I'm a big fan of like Ferrothorn and Trick Room, which we've talked about. Tyranitar can get real slow. I got to do that last season in Draft League, and like it can get real slow if you need it to. So being able to just pair it with like the Ghost Core of Dragapult and Mimikyu seems really fine. Like, and Mimikyu plays real good either way. Like it's good without Trick Room, and like it's fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it can also just like disrupt your opponent's Trick Room by being a Trick Room abuser itself.
Yeah.
So like you're fine either way with this team. Like the only thing that doesn't really care about like the one thing that doesn't like Trick Room is Dragapult, and the one thing that doesn't like not being in Trick Room is the Ferrothorn. But Ferrothorn is still just fine without it. It's just going to be more supportive compared to bulky physical attacker.
What's cool is there's alternate builds for Dragapult now where Dragapult could actually like be bulkier and slower than other Dragapult.
Mm-hmm.
So you could build your Dragapult to where it's going to survive the fairy type move that comes out to it. Or you can max guard and let your Mimikyu set up Trick Room, and then you're actually faster than other opposed like
because you're not max speed.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so instead you're investing into whatever attacking stat you have plus bulk.
Yeah.
So you get to live their hit and then turn around and Oko them back.
Exactly. Looking at this next one actually features two dragon types we don't see very often anymore, and Corviknight. We got Duraludon, Dracovish, Mimikyu, Excadrill, Tyranitar, and Corviknight.
This is real hard sand, and this team is really falling off the face of the earth. Like Corviknight, Duraludon, Dracovish, these monsters don't really see play anymore. And like Dracovish is really high on Pikalytic standing still, and I don't understand why, because this is just not putting up results.
It's because Pikalytics gets all its information from Showdown.
So even though people are playing a ton of it, it may not be the best results.
Exactly.
I'd be interested to see how well it's performing on Babiri, where I know they actually look at the top placing teams.
Yeah, it's like the top 100 or something like that. Going back to this, I miss seeing Duraludon. Duraludon just like fell off the face.
It's real sweet.
and it's sad that it's not a thing. Once we get hidden abilities on our fossils, Sandrush Dracovish or Sandrush Dracozolt, which one do you want to do? Because they both get Sandrush.
Probably Dracozolt, because, like, Dracovish is already fast. Mr. Fish is already fast by himself.
Yeah,
so...
he's not much faster than Dracozolt, actually.
Really?
Their base speeds are about the same.
I thought one was way slower than the other.
No, they're pretty close, actually. So, let's see here. I believe Dracozolt... I know Dracozolt is 75. Yeah, they're both... Actually, no, they're both 75.
Oh! That's interesting.
Where they start to differ is Dracozolt has more attack, whereas Dracovish has more defense, and then Dracozolt has more special attack, and Dracovish has more special defense.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely thought Vish was way faster because it just seems like...
It just seems like it's faster, right?
Yeah, because it's always played with Scarf, whereas, like, Dracozolt is always played with, like, Life Orb.
Yep.
So just, like, it's real weird that... Especially because they have basically the same move with Fish's Wren versus Bolt Beak. It's just like, you don't see fast Dracozolt. It's just not really a thing that exists because you don't need it to be.
Usually you pair it with a Trick Room or you throw it with the Tailwind. Usually you have a better speed control than just, say, throw Scarf on Dracovish and just go.
Yeah, and I guess the other big difference here is just like, Dracovish gets Strong Jaw, which triggers Fish's
It doesn't need the boat. It doesn't need the boost.
Yeah. So, like, it is real determined to go first.
Yeah.
Whereas Dracozolt can tussle and just wants to hit things.
Yeah, it just needs to land.
It doesn't matter what it is, what attack it is. It just wants to hit you.
It just needs to hit something. Once it connects, the Pokemon's usually...
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting there
is the tricky part. Next team is pretty standard stuff again. We finally have Gastrodon pop up on the list here of Pokemon that we haven't seen yet. Gastrodon, Dragapult, Excadrill, Togekiss, Arcanine, Tyranitar. Sounds like sand plus normal shenanigans.
Yeah.
Don't want Incineroar because extra fighting weakness, so we play Arcanine. Needs something to help against water, so we play Gastrodon. We have our Fairy Steel Dragon Core. We have Tyranitar to set sand for Excadrill if we need it, and Gastrodon even. So
things we've talked about 100 times, man.
Do you know about Centiskorch? Are you ready for Centiskorch?
No. So here's what I know about Centiskorch. It hatches my eggs.
I have a Colossal that does that. So Centiskorch, I know kind of well. I've tried to make Centiskorch work before.
I could not even tell you what its ability does, what its G-Max move does.
So Centiskorch is G-Max move, I believe, is Fire Spin. It locks you in. It traps you.
Okay.
It doesn't do as much damage as Wildfire, but it traps you in there.
Interesting.
So that's the thing to think about. Also, this thing has 100 base HP and 115 base attack.
I actually didn't realize they were that high.
Yeah. We're not the fastest thing in the world, but we actually can hit fairly hard.
What abilities do we have? I know we have Flame Body, and I know we have
Flash
Flame Body is hidden ability.
Flame Body, and then White Smoke. So
White Smoke is probably just a play here because it prevents Intimidate from popping
exactly.
off.
We don't get intimidated. We can't get fake tears or anything like that because our special defense is actually fairly high too.
Is it?
110. After you get your IVs done, it's 110.
Yeah, 90 is not a bad position.
For a fire bug, that's insane.
Yeah, that's... I mean, granted, you still are not going to take a rock slide to save your life.
Oh, no.
Especially because your defense is base 65. That is
It's also
garbage.
4 times weakness, so... Also, Life Orb Excadrill hits like a truck.
Oh, I'm sure, man.
But it's cool because it's like Centiskorch locks people in. It prevents swapping all the time. So you get extra chip damage. You can set up sand and get even more chip damage.
So does it only lock in the 2 that are in?
It locks the 2.
If you knock out one of them, they're able to switch.
Yeah,
that. Okay.
I believe it'll be able to
So
be
it's
able to
actual
switch
fire spin,
so
not...
it's fire spin. It works like Sandaconda. Sandaconda Sand Tomb.
Mm-hmm.
And Centiskorch is Fire Spin. I believe that's how that works. I've seen Centiskorch on Perish Song teams before, which is really cool.
Interesting.
Before we got Gengar and all the other good trappers.
That's real interesting.
But because Centiskorch has the 4-type weakness to Rock, and Excadrill was getting popular, so they went away with that, and they brought in Sandaconda, and they started using Sandaconda, and now they have Gengar to do all that nonsense for them. Meowstic is pretty cool on this team, too. It's just like, here's my Prankster stuff, here's Thunder Wave for speed control. I can also do Trick Room if I need to. I have Fake Out and Psychic. Tyranitar, Excadrill for sand stuff, and then Dragapult to round out that fantasy core is really good. Next one is featuring Sylveon, Gastrodon, Arcanine, Corviknight, Tyranitar, and Grimmsnarl. This is our first Grimmsnarl of many coming up. There's a bunch of Grimmsnarl in the lower ranks here, which has me surprised.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I know when we were counting stuff, it's just like, man, that's a lot.
So I ran into G-Max Grimmsnarl the other day.
I could not tell you what that does.
It's Yawn.
Huh.
G-Max News is damage plus Yawn. It's not as good, but it's whatever. But its attack stat is so high anyway that it just hits like a truck you do invest into it. But you don't ever really need to because it's 120, I think, base.
Yeah, just because it is so high, you're just like, yeah, sure, this is fine.
But then we also have Sylveon to just do more damage. Arcanine, Tyranitar, Gastrodon does some cool things there. And
I wonder if we're weakness policy Grimmsnarl.
We could be.
That's just one of those things that, like, I see dark.
You don't think about it. You see Dark Fairy, you don't think about it being actually weak to Fairy.
Yeah. But when you see this dark type sitting next to a fairy, it's just like, all right, what are we doing here? Especially one that has priority. Like, I don't know if it's good. But I want to try it.
Be a G-Max, just hit him with that Max Starfall.
Just bang.
15th place team here has got a Durant, Whimsicott, Didi, Chandelure, Milotic, and Hydreigon. So harking back to our team of the week, where Durant was like kind of stuck in the middle and not really able to do anything, just hope you outsped something.
Oh, here we're going to outspeed something.
We're going to outspeed. We have Prankster Tailwind. We have Anti-Trick Room with Chandelure, who also notably can swap in for Durant and take those fire-type attacks.
Especially if it's Flash Fire, which I'd be very surprised if it's not here.
And if neither stopping Trick Room or Tailwind is good enough, we have Indeedee Follow Me to redirect the fire attacks to Indeedee and pray and hope that they don't have Heat Wave.
Yeah, this is a really, really good balanced Durant team. Like, having so many ways of actually being able to, like, take advantage of it is really important here. Like you mentioned, we have Follow Me, so we don't have to deal with, like, Charizard in the event it's faster than us, and then we can turn around and Oko it. Chandelure is able to switch in freely and take those hits and soak everything up. And we have Tailwind, so we can just go over the top of people and make sure that we are the fastest thing on the table.
Yeah.
And then, like, we also have just, like, diverse threats of Milotic being able to soak up whatever we need to, come in on Intimidates, get our competitive trigger, and then Hydreigon is one that I've kind of worked on and I was just never really impressed with, and I know it puts up results from time to time, but I'm not sure if it's what we want to be doing here.
Hydreigon's always isn't always in a weird spot. It's like, oh, I'm really good, but I'm also 4 times weak to Fairy, and guess what? Some of the most popular Pokemon are to play. Fairy types.
I wonder how much better the Hydreigon would be if it was Tyranitar here.
Tyranitar means we have to set up Sand for Durant if we need to. It can also set up Sand to deny Sun. Can set up Sand.
More importantly, it also denies our Focus Sash on Whimsicott if we're doing that. So if we're doing that, we probably want to be Substitute Whimsicott, which I believe prevents Sand damage.
I don't know.
I could not actually tell you off the top of my head.
I don't play a Substitute enough.
But we also, if we're the Substitute set, we also have we have Leftovers on it, which probably means then if we're doing that, we want Barry on Milotic. And then from there, like, the team comp gets a little different.
Yeah.
We also have, like, this minor Trick Room sub-theme going on with Indeedee Chandelure, where we can set up Trick Room to prevent opponents' tailwinds, and just also be able to, like, abuse it with Milotic, I guess? It's not the worst thing I've heard.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Like, Hydreigon is absurdly fast, if I remember correctly.
I think Hydreigon is base 96. It might be faster than that. 98. Base 98.
Man, that's real high.
That is fairly high. Not as high as some, but... like, in comparison, Gudra's is 100.
Well, you know, man. We can't all be Gudras,
but
okay?
we don't max speed on Gudra. Max speed after Timid is what? How high is that? 165? Max speed? So you are a fast dragon.
Yeah, that is real fast.
Let's see here. What else we got here? Rounding up the top 16 here, Aston Cox's team. Pretty standard stuff. Tyranitar, Excadrill, Togekiss, Dragapult, Rodon Wash, and Incineroar. So swap the Arcanine for Incineroar, and that's pretty much what we talked about just a little bit ago. Where is it? I don't know where it's at. It's gone.
It's around here somewhere, maybe.
We lost it. We dropped it. Oh well. Firing off these last 8 teams here, there is a... I'm assuming this Whimsicott has Trick Room because we have a Conkeldurr and a Gastrodon and a Tyranitar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming this almost has to have a Trick Room on it.
Whimsicott's not the best Trick Room abuser setter.
There's not a lot of Trick Room setters really to begin with.
Are you kidding me? Do you know how many? No, I want you to look this up. How many wands get Trick Room in this game?
Not as many that just like get like no other Trick Room. But let's see here.
Alright, playable mons. We have Gengar, Hatterene, Orbeetle, Chandelure, Dusclops, Gothitelle, Whimsicott, Bronzong,
Aromatisse, Espeon, Gardevoir, Indeedee Male, Jellicent, Malamar, Mimikyu, and then we get into all these repeats of Gourgeist.
Configrigus, Gourgeist, Clink Clang, Meowstic. Alright, so far we're at 19. And you were saying...
But, like, with what we're doing here, we need the grass type coverage.
Yeah, for sure.
Find me a grass type that can do it besides just, like, outside of Gourgeist. Do you want to be doing Gourgeist things with this team? Probably not. That's just, like...
I mean, Gourgeist Tyranitar is a combo.
Yeah, it is a combo. But we also could put Tailwind on our Whimsicott as well when we need the Tailwind stuff.
Which I actually think this team functions fine under Tailwind, too. Like, if we...
I just don't like this Conkeldurr sitting here under Tailwind.
It's not the worst!
What is... So, Conkeldurr, unless you put speed into Conkeldurr, the best I think you can do is...
65 is real bad.
Yeah. and then Tailwind that. So you're
That's
at 130.
Which is still not great.
How high did we say Hydreigon was?
Like,
You're not even outspeeding Hydreigon after Tailwind's up.
We have Mach Punch, it's fine.
But yeah. Corviknight does Corviknight things.
Corviknight also gets Tailwind too.
I'm not a fan of Corviknight.
I'm not either.
I was like, oh boy, I'm going to body press something. One time.
I'm also dead to a ham sandwich.
Right? Like, there's so many special attackers now running around that Corviknight just lost all of its charm. When the format was all physical, it was great.
Oh yeah, and that's something when we started working on stuff for Collinsville, it's just like, man, there are so many physical attackers in this. It's just like, how do we narrow down what we want to be doing? And obviously we settled on Durant, and it was real good then. I think that team was actually really powerful, and had we played it, both just played a little tighter, I think we could have day 2'd.
Yep.
But Ultimately, like, now that we've had this shift to more diverse teams, like, more now that the format has actually developed, and we've added a couple new mons thanks to home and such, like, our diversity of attackers is actually really wide. Like, one specific thing that's, like, a big check towards Corviknight is Rotom.
Yep.
And, like, Rotom's popularity has increased dramatically in the last 2 months. So, just seeing that big difference in itself is, like, man, it makes it where, like, it and, like, Braviary kind of just fallen off the face of the earth because, yeah, like, they both get Tailwind, but they don't have priority, and they don't take hits that well.
Nope. Corviknight is actually fairly slow, like, when you actually look at it.
Yeah, 67 is not great. 67 base speed is not great.
Like, this is a fairly, like, at max IVs, you're at 87.
We're faster than Conkeldurr?
Like, you barely outspeed the base speed of Rotom. By 1.
Great!
But yeah, so I'm not a fan of this. I'm not sure how it works. I'd have to actually, like, see this.
Yeah, this one is just one I'm not a fan of.
Firing off the rest of these, here's more Duraludon and our first Dracozolt, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Also our first Gyarados. And then
another one's just fallen off the face of the earth, and I really do think it has to come down to the popularity of Rotom.
Yeah, Rotom washes pretty much into every one of these. Gyarados has Power Whip, but, like, are you going to make sure you're faster than that Rotom?
I mean, there's a chance we are, but, like, we also want Moxie to be able to, like, Moxie is what makes Gyarados great, and for it to actually put up the work we need it to, it needs to be able to put up, KOs quickly, and Rotom just can come in at any time early and just be like, hey,
hi,
you're done here. Stop it.
Go away now.
Please stop.
Grimmsnarl, Milotic, Dracozolt. I guess Grimmsnarl can fake out to where Gyarados can try to pick up a KO early and just start rolling.
I want to try Gyarados Sableye.
Quash?
Yeah, just quash them. And, like, that seems like a real powerful, like, combination that I don't think has been explored enough.
Probably not.
Like, just Moxie plus Quash.
Sableye is kind of just, like, on the weaker, like, on the lower end of used mons anyway. Not many people, like Sableye because it's just like, oh, it's a Dark Ghost. Its stats are kind of middling. It's like, it doesn't have really good defenses. Its HP's kind of crap. But it does prankster stuff really well. It sets up weather, like, fantastically for you. If that's what you want it to do. 19th place, I have a Toxtricity here.
Yep, you do.
And
that is something that exists.
And then we got Grimmsnarl again, Corviknight, Tyranitar, Gastrodon, and Arcanine. Outside of this Toxtricity, we've seen most of these mons before. They do pretty much all this. These mons aren't really, like, adaptable is the key word here. This is like, they all do, like, one thing
really well, yeah.
And then outside of that, you can kind of predict what they're doing.
And see, that's the thing of, like, what makes Dragapult good. What makes Togekiss good. It would make Arcanine, Incineroar. Like, I can keep going, man. Like, that's what makes the best mons the best.
Yeah, if we go here and just look down, it's like Dragapult, Togekiss.
Mimikyu.
Does
Mimikyu's another good one. Like, Tyranitar. Like, you can have a supporting Tyranitar.
Yep.
It's not the best thing out there. It's not the best support mon, but it is possible to have that done. Compared to Grimmsnarl.
Who's going to either
do exactly one thing.
Or hope to get you with, like, a max snooze. Like, what else is going to happen outside of that? And, like, Toxtricity, you see it coming a mile away.
Oh, for sure.
Like, if you play Toxtricity, you have to be playing, like, Throat Spray, Overcharge, Boom Burst, all that nonsense. 20th place is Sun TR with Hatterene, Indeedee, Torkoal, Venusaur, and then Dusclops right here. Pretty much just pick 3 pairs of leads, all just doing their thing.
So there are, just quickly, circling back to the Quash Moxie thing, there are 2 mons that have Moxie in this gen.
What's the other one?
Scrafty.
Oh.
Which is much better as Intimidate, so...
I noticed they both have Intimidate.
Does Gyarados?
Have Intimidate?
I did not know that, actually.
Gyarados' other ability is Intimidate.
I actually didn't know that. I just use it as Moxie.
Yeah, no, Gyarados has Intimidate.
Huh.
But Sun Trick Room, Pokemon...
It's tough, man.
Standard Sun Trick Room at this point.
I'm pretty sure this is the exact team you started playing on day 2.
Yep, this is actually 100%, except I think I had Charizard still.
You had Charizard over Dusclops.
Yeah, I think I did Charizard instead of Dusclops, so I actually had a Sun team.
And a Trick Room team.
Team. Next team's got Braviary in it. Speaking of Braviary.
Speaking of monsters that have fallen off the face of the earth.
Hi, Braviary. Second Dracovish we've seen.
Duraludon, Dracovish, Braviary. Pick one.
I don't want any of them. Give me Excadrill, no flying types.
A second Whimsicott.
no, Excadrill, Togekiss, and Dragon Ball.
Alright, sure. I'm lock it in.
Notably, that was a low-key Toxtricity before, because we have a amped up coming up next.
I could not tell you what the difference is between the two, man.
I don't know, but they're the exact same team.
Just minus the...
One's low-key, one's amped up.
Alright, I'm looking it up.
I know amped up gets Gear Shift as a setup move. Low-key doesn't. I couldn't tell you what the difference is. Low-key has to have something, right?
Uh-huh.
Right?
Alright.
What's the difference? Like, I know amped up gets the setup move, but low-key doesn't get anything, right?
The second difference is the final attack each form can learn by leveling up. At level 52, amped form Toxtricity can learn Shift Gear. Low key, however, learns Magnetic Flux.
Oh, that's much worse. Do you know what Magnetic Flux does?
Only because I'm reading.
Yeah, it's not very
This
good.
attack increases both the defense and special defense of an ally that has plus or minus.
Yeah, not very good.
That seems real bad.
So, yeah.
So the big difference here is your nature. So it looks like you have the plus attack and plus speed natures versus your plus defense and plus defenses. Your plus special attack and plus defenses, it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I'm probably wrong because I don't know all my natures off the top of my head, but...
But as long as you match one, and then you can mint the nature whatever you want, it doesn't matter.
Sure. If you mint it, does it change color?
No.
Okay, so...
It is locked into whatever nature it was assigned to at hatch. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then these last two teams here, Trick Room team with Ferrothorn, Dusclops, Mimikyu, Arcanine, Conkeldurr, and Milotic. And then another Trick Room team with Escavalier.
Excuse me for a second.
Togekiss, Tyranitar, Arcanine, Dragapult, Dusclops. Do you know about Escavalier?
I know that it was a pain to get in Gen 5 because I didn't have friends.
So, think Durant, but slow. And that's what you have.
Does it get Hustle?
No. Who needs Hustle when you have 135 base attack?
Good golly.
Max attack, Escavalier breaks the 200 bar pretty quickly. Remember that 205 on Drampa we started the day with?
Wow.
We hit the 205 with Escavalier on attack.
So it's physical Drampa.
It is physical Drampa. Notably, you'll want to go here.
Uh-huh.
and zero out your IVs on your speed.
22 speed is non-existent.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, your abilities are real bad. You get Swarm and you get Overcoat. Oh, you get Shell Armor. Cool.
Yeah, you just do shell armor. You carry this assault vest. Actually, no, you probably just want Life Orb.
Yeah, I think we want Life Orb because we want to protect on turn 1.
We do this.
Yeah, close combat, Iron Head, Mega Horn? Or X Scissor. We get Razor Shell?
Yeah.
That's so weird. We get Drill Run.
Ta-da!
Good lord, this is... What is this? What is this monstrosity?
It's Carablast that stole Shellman's shell. That's what this monstrosity is. This is Pokemon being cheeky. So, I was 100% expecting to run Escavalier on Draft League because my opponent picked it up.
Uh-huh.
Like, last minute, I was like, okay, I'm just, like, expecting Escavalier trick, like, nonsense. And no, I never even saw it. He never even popped up.
Did he bring it?
No. Nope. Never even brought it. So...
That's a perfect segue into Draft League.
You mean the whole 5 minutes I got to play because I was a dum-dum and didn't check my EVs and make sure I actually had done my work for my Pokemon?
I mean, mine was a 35-minute match, which is up on YouTube. And I am real excited for people to go watch it. Cause the games were all fantastic.
Yeah. For those of you listening on release, the video should have been out for a couple days now.
Yeah.
So.
It's real good. The matches are real good. And the entirety of why I won Game 3 was because I hit a blind hypnosis. 100% the only reason I won because I did not have an answer to that Orbeetle. It's like, alright, here's how we win. Luck. And Tofu messaged me as soon as I hit. He's like, did you seriously just go for that and do it? I'm like,
yeah.
Sometimes you gotta be lucky.
Rather be lucky than good. While everyone was playing with Draft League stuff, after I made my big mistake, I went and started working on G-Max Machamp because I want to work on that because it's fun. This team is great. I know,
you have been sending me replay after replay of this team, and it seems so cool.
So we do the whole sand thing really, really well. We have Rodon Wash and Arcanine and Whimsicott, and then you just throw Machamp into the mix, and it just slotted in really well instead of just like... You're just a little bit faster Conkeldurr, so you actually get to take a benefit from being max speed for the Tailwind. Mm-hmm. You get to be about 162, 163, depending on your EVs you put into it.
Oh, you have no EVs in it. You have no speed EVs.
Nope.
So you're just relying on Tailwind to be fast.
Yeah, we are bulky.
Okay.
We're going to hit no matter what.
Oh yeah,
no guard means we just hit. And then Assault Vest means we can tank the hits from Togekiss and Whimsicott.
How does Paralysis work with no guard? Does it still check it?
It still checks.
You can still be
you still be paralyzed.
But
it just doesn't... when you go to make an accuracy check, it ignores it.
Okay, so I know this is something that came up in like Gen 3, and that's the only reason I know it, is if you use like Stone Edge against an opponent that uses Fly, you're still going to hit.
Yep. Same thing works with Phantom Force, same thing works with Dive.
Interesting.
You still hit.
It doesn't get around like Disguise or anything, right? It's not Mold Breaker.
It's not Mold Breaker. Okay. It doesn't get around Disguise. It doesn't get around Protect, Detect, King Shield, all those things. You still...
Because even though you don't make an accuracy check, this just says you can't be damaged.
Yeah, it can't hit me, so...
And, like, luckily you don't have to worry about Wide Guard here because, like, that's non-existent.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have spread damage, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. Wide Guard's another attack that, like, has been popular in the past, and it's been non-existent in this gen.
Spread damage isn't as popular as you think it is. You think it would be because
you say that, man,
Rock Slide and Heat Wave and all that, but they're only on the same months.
We also talked about this last week where, like, Earthquake just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because now we have high horsepower, which is better Earthquake.
It's single target Earthquake. Just smack them.
Yeah. It's just like, it's crazy to go from Earthquake is the best possible attack you can ever click to, I don't even want it.
Yeah. Granted, there are Pokemon that do want it. But
oh yeah, for sure.
This isn't one of those times. So G-Max Machamp, Bullet Punch, Dynamic Punch, Thunder Punch, and Knock Off. pretty much max HP, max attack, and then a little bit of special defense just to make sure, just give us that little bit of extra bulk to survive Togekiss and Whimsicott and Primarina. Thunder Punch is specifically there to make sure we can hit Togekiss and Primarina super effectively. Bullet Punch does an okay job, but it's just like it's more there to just pick up a KO than to actually like try to get you.
So how often are we going for Max Chi Strike here?
It actually happens more often than you think. Max Chi Strike can pretty much OHKO a Tyranitar.
What do you mean pretty much? It should, right?
It depends on how much defense they invest into.
Is this like regular or is this Dynamax?
Regular. Regular T-Star. It's still only 100 base power, bud.
Oh, okay.
It's not, fighting type moves don't get above 100, and it's right there.
I'm like, oh, that seems real mediocre.
Alright. I believe the Dynamic Punch base power is it like 95?
So if we don't, it OHKOs, right? If we don't Dynamax, it OHKOs?
Couldn't tell you.
Machamp gets guts?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's a guts build that you can play with Flame Orb and just smack people around like Conkeldurr does.
Huh.
So I believe that's what it is. That's the max you can get with max G-Strike is 100. Oh, so this is saying it can, and I'm not even like any stats into this thing yet.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, there is. Make sure you put it to doubles.
Yeah,
because evidently that makes a difference for some reason.
For some reason, it makes a difference. And granted, this if you Dynamax, whatever, but. Apparently it works that way. Apparently it's enough to OHKO. Now, granted, this one has no actual like defensive input. It's all attack and speed, but it's 150, so it's still 150%. So it should be enough, even to have a little bit of defense.
Okay, that's why I was concerned. I'm like, man, I feel like it's 4 times effective. It's stab. This thing should not live. But
you'd think, but Tyrannic like mine. I have actual no investment in attack, no investment in any kind of like speed.
Oh yeah, your policy, you don't need it.
Like I'm just like Dragon Dance is going to be my speed boost. I have used Dragon Dance.
I have clicked it.
It does do things. We were running Ice Punch now on this because Iron Head is kind of meh. Ice Punch still hits Togekiss. Mm-hmm. Ice Punch also notably hits Dragapult and Goodra and every other problematic Dragon type besides Dracovish, which we have other ways to deal with Dracovish. So we have Arcanine here. Arcanine's spec to survive Durant, Max Quake, and or Max Rockfall. Barely, but we still survive it, and then we are able to just turn around and just hit it with the fire type attack. Hopefully, as long as they don't follow me. Usually if they have follow me, then I just play around that. Rotom Wash has been super stellar here. I was off the Rotom train for a very long time. For some reason, Rotom Wash is great in this team. I don't understand it.
I know that when you were putting this together, me and you were both just like, man, I really don't like Rotom here.
I'm coming around, man. Rotom has been fantastic on this team.
I know, like, you tried a couple different things. I know you tried, like, Primarina. You said it was just awful.
Primarina felt terrible for some reason. I tried it with the Trick Room team I had built earlier. Primarina just felt miserable. I tried slotting it in here just to be like a fairy type attacker that I needed.
Nope.
Just felt miserable. I don't know what it is. It's just Rotom Wash feels great. Having electric and water coverage and just being able to nasty plot in front of people is pretty good. Tyranitar, like we were saying, is weakness policy, very, very bulky. Max HP, 132 in defense, 124 in special defense. We are going to live hits when they hit us. And then we're going to turn around and sweep them.
Yeah.
Excadrill's Mold Breaker to make sure we hit opposing Rotoms. We're running Drill Run because Max G-Strike means we get higher crit chances.
So having Drill Run's just like, yeah.
High roll.
Bang.
I have already high rolled and G-Max Duraludon and OHKO'd it. I OHKO'd this thing, which I did not expect to do.
Oh, for sure, man.
So that was cute. And then Whimsicott is Tailwind plus Taunt for Trick Roomers and opposing pranksters that I can actually taunt. Moonblast, Energy Ball as coverage moves. Max Special Attack because we're Focus Sash. I never understood why people were just like, I'm going to put max HP on my Focus Sash Pokemon.
So you can live.
But you're going to live.
As someone who has done this, I also don't understand it. I'm just like, everyone else is doing it. There has to be a reason, right? No,
so,
I cannot figure it out.
I just never figured it out. So I went back. I am max special attack, max speed. I am going to run you over. This thing puts Milotic to half health. It can OHKO Dragapults. It can put Gudras to about 66% of its health.
Man.
So it does a chunk. Does a decent chunk.
A lot of damage.
Yeah.
That is way more than I actually anticipated.
Whimsicott actually is like fairly high special attack. Who knew? Anything else you want to touch on this week?
I mean, let's see. I talked about Draft League for a hot minute. I got a whole lot of nothing really, man.
Yeah, I'm about all tuckered out from Pokemon. I need a break.
We have the new Let's Play series going up on YouTube. Just want to plug that real quick because it is, so far I've had nothing but good responses from it. I'm really excited to keep doing that. We're doing a playthrough of Pokemon Stadium 2. So if you like Pokemon stuff and want to see a more casual side of it, we're doing exactly that. I'm real excited about it. So just keep watching it. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that stuff on YouTube. If you are doing it, make sure you're also commenting on it so we can keep doing that stuff. It's just all good for the YouTube algorithm. I'm sure you've heard it 100 different times from 100 different people. So past that, I got a whole lot of nothing, man.
Me either.
Let's get us out of here.
Yeah, let's get us out of here.
All right, man. So as always, if you are on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Go ahead and hit the bell as well so you can actually get notifications of when we go live and with what. And past that, you can find us on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at Cardinoble25, and Carl at musical_33. We have a Discord channel for all of our fantastic supporters. Our people are great. Highly recommend getting on there and actually watching and joining the community. There's been so many times where people are just on there and, hey, here's what I'm working on. Can you all help me with this? And, 5 people jump in and start helping. So, our community is fantastic. Highly recommend joining that. So, past that, Carl and I are both on Twitch as well. You can always find us at Mr. Missouri25 and at Musical. Let's see. Have I missed anything? YouTube, Discord, Twitter, Twitch. That sounds like everything.
That's about right.
Okay. I think we're getting out of here for this week, everybody. Thank you all very much. Have a good one. Peace.